OMG. Not Matthew Knowles moving from suggesting Tina Knowles didn't put any work into Destiny's Child success to allegedly shaming her for poisoning people with her gumbo.
I've said the same thing to Tina Knowles. You guys put in the work, and obviously the talent was there with your kids and your grandkids.
What work did she put in?
Dang. He's shady as hell, y'all. So y'all saw how the Houston Health Department issued a temporary closure of Mama Tina's gumbo booth as a result of a complaint investigation. But based on what the department said, Mama Tina was cooperative with the department's recommendations and passed a subsequent inspection and was authorized to reopen after just 12 hours. However, what people were questioning was why did Mama Tina get the permission to reopen so soon, even though the report clearly indicated there was a serious problem? I mean, for starters, the food was being prepared at an unlicensed location rather than the approved restaurant listed on the permit. Number 2, the gumbo was stored in unapproved containers. And the other thing that came up was that inspectors could not verify proper cooling methods for pre-cooked batches. Apparently, items that were supposed to be frozen were also found thawed, posing a food poisoning risk. And to top it all up, people were actually seriously sick from the food after they got infected with a bacteria.
But that gumbo is what made me sick. I told you all I called the health department. It says, "Good morning, Erica. This is Justin with the Houston Health Department. I was calling to give you an update on the complaint filed against Mama Tina's Gumbo at the rodeo. In short, the temporary establishment was closed due to inaccuracy between their permit application and the actual food preparation they were conducting. We also discarded all gumbo on site due for the same reason, as well as the food being stored inside unapproved containers. And we could not verify proper cooling methods for pre-cooked batches of gumbo. At this time, they are not allowed to operate until a new application is submitted. A health officer can verify proper food preparation on site, and the permit is approved and fees paid."
Well, allegedly, Matthew Knowles is also wondering about the same things. And I honestly don't know what's going on between these two, but let's just break it down. Okay, guys. For a bit of background, y'all remember when sometime in February, Mama Tina announced that guys had been asking for her gumbo for years? At the time, she said that she would be debuting Miss Tina's Gumbo at the 2026 Houston Rodeo, which she did, and her 2 versions were for seafood with beef sausage, chicken, shrimp, and blue crab, and chicken and sausage only option. Now here's where it gets really interesting. See, the stand was initially a massive hit, with long lines and customers paying nearly $30 per bowl, and early clips show customers praising the flavor and Mama Tina herself claiming the gumbo was simmered for 16 to 18 hours. Well, there were people who said that the gumbo was really good and the best they'd ever had even though it was expensive, and there are also those who said that at best they would give it a solid 5.
And we got her chicken and sausage gumbo, baby. We about to try it. Mama Tina's chicken and sausage gumbo. Let's see.
Rated from 1 to 10.
From 1 to 10, I'll give it about a 5. I think mine tastes better than this, actually. But it's good. It has a lot of meat in it and a lot of, chicken and sausage. I give it a 5.
Some reviewers, particularly those from New Orleans, then began criticizing the gumbo, and one reviewer noted it tasted more like beef soup and complained about being served crackers with it, which they claimed is not traditional. People also said that gumbo does not need to be cooked for 16 to 18 hours, suggesting that such a long cooking time would boil all the water out or indicate the meat was too old. Some of the reviews also had me cracking up for real, because the shade was crazy. It was some people saying that the gumbo was nasty. The gumbo looks like swamp water. It was people accusing Miss Tina of being a witch and casting a spell and putting her hoodoo voodoo or whatever they said that she practiced, and so much more.
Oh my God. This tastes like water that they added some. You know the seasoning for noodles? That's what it tastes like, the noodle juice. It is bad. Oh Lord, please, I can't. All right, I gotta go. It stink. It smell like burnt fish stuff. Like burnt fish stuff with gravy.
I like to, but the smell is
I can't even go through with taking a real taste. I'm gonna pass, and I'm gonna leave that shit for the dogs. I'm gonna set it over there where she can have her shit back.
And you know, other than the allegations of food poisoning, there was also another incident where Tina appeared to be confronting a customer who was filming near her gumbo stand at the Houston rodeo. The exchange between Tina and the man, who was live streaming the stand, sparked a debate on social media, with some defending Tina's right to privacy and others arguing that recording in public was okay, and Mama T was just salty from the reviews. Others were even saying that they think Tina is the most embarrassing famous mother out there, and questioned why she has to have a spotlight and can't be in the background like other famous mothers. They were like, you don't see the likes of Rihanna mom, Cardi mom, etc. do this because they know it's not about them. It's their daughters people care about. Apparently, we hear more about Tina than we do about the superstar, talented, and famous daughter, which people find ridiculous. Like there was just too much going on at the stand. And honey, this was the good stuff, because then people also started posting videos of how they got sick from eating the food. For instance, there was a customer named Erica who showed herself with swollen eyes and bubble guts, and she explained that she only had water and Cheeto Puffs before the gumbo, and that made her conclude that she had gotten sick from Mama Tina's food, and subsequently called the health department. She later showed herself at a doctor's office with a kit for multiple lab tests to identify the cause of her illness, and based on what she said, the food poisoning was definitely from Tina's gumbo. As a result, the stall was temporarily closed because there were several complaints coming in, but after 12 hours, it was back up, and this just raised even more questions. I mean, the health department report was not just a little oopsie, it was giving total chaos. We're talking about gumbo being cooked in random, unlicensed kitchens and then being hauled over to the rodeo in unapproved containers. Like, ma'am, where was the temperature control? The inspectors literally said they couldn't even verify if it was cooled down right, and yet Mama Tina was back serving bowls in like 12 hours? So did she just make it all go away because Beyonce was her daughter? Child, I don't know, but from what I've heard, Tina's ex-husband Mathew Knowles has been running his mouth about this entire issue. Now guys, anyone who has been following these two knows that there's been a bit of tension between them recently, but it appears as if it's gotten worse over the last few weeks, and people knew that something was definitely up after that interview with Candice Gibson leaked. What happened was that during the discussion, Candice Gibson praised both Mathew and Tina for their contributions to Destiny Child's rise, noting that they put in the work behind the scenes as they became one of the most successful groups in music history. Now, Mathew appeared to take issue with that framing and was like, what work did she put in? Then, when the host pointed out Tina's role in styling and shaping the group's visual image, Mathew briefly acknowledged the contribution and was like, okay, you're absolutely right. And the styling, the imaging, you're right. See, according to how people understood the response, what Mathew was trying to imply here is that Mama Tina didn't do much for the group, and he made it look like he was the one doing all the work. The moment actually became awkward, and Candice Gibson attempted to smooth things over by calling Destiny's Child a joint effort between the couple. But Mathew abruptly ended the interview altogether. I know that Mathew definitely does not get enough credit industry-wide for how he made Destiny's Child the biggest group, but throwing shade at the woman who helped him? This is not the way, sir. More importantly, I think he forgets that Tina held down the fort when he quit his job to manage DC. So not only was she working at her salon to make sure the bills were paid, she was the creative force of the group. And you know what's even more interesting? If you watch the original interview, that part about shading Tina is not even there, and it was only leaked a few days ago. I literally don't know what to think of that. But what I can tell you is that Tina saw the conversation, and she was not about to let Mathew downplay the effort she put in. What she did was that she reposted a feature highlighting her work and legacy in fashion, and specifically her influence on DC's signature style during the group's early years. And alongside the repost, she wrote, "Thank you for this beautiful piece on me and my designs." Yeah, Mama Tina did feel some type of way about Mathew straight up shading her. Now, with this gumbo drama at the Houston rodeo, word on the street is that Mathew is allegedly leaning into the poisoning narrative. He believes that Tina is an attention seeker, but all she does is just ruin the family branding and image because she just comes out looking extremely desperate. it. He believes that Tina shouldn't be doing so much, given their daughter is a whole billionaire. It's giving extreme levels of petty, and honestly, we shouldn't even be surprised. Let's be real, the timing is just too perfect. He's currently out here promoting his own DC tribute projects, and every time someone gives Tina her flowers for the styling, the imaging, or just being the glue, he seems to glitch. And honestly, going after Tina for a temporary shutdown to imply she's out here serving rancid food is a low blow even for him. It feels less about the actual food, and more about him wanting to reclaim the narrative that he is the one who keeps things running smoothly. The consensus among the Beehive and Mama Tina's fans is that he needs to let it go and let Mama Tina have her moment. And even if she gets a bit of criticism, it should never come from him. I really don't know what Matthew is trying to achieve here, but I'ma let you be the judge of that. Let me know what you think of him allegedly inserting himself in this drama in the comments section below.